Good afternoon. Welcome to the Kempsey Shire Council first public forum of 2023. It's the 13th of February. I remind all people attending this meeting that it is being webcast on YouTube with audio and vision. A recording of the meeting is available on the internet and is required to be available for 12 months. Private recordings, including taking photographs by members of the public gallery, are not allowed. This ruling is to maintain the integrity of the meeting proceedings. Would you please ensure all devices like mobile phones are on silent mode or turned off? On behalf of Council, I welcome all people in the public gallery and observing live on the internet to this public forum. Attending the public forum are Councillors Arthur Bain, Councillor Kenny Ring, Councillor Dean Saul, Councillor Kerry Riddington, Councillor Scott Butterfield, Councillor Anthony Patterson, Councillor Simon Ferguson, and Councillor Alexandra White. Also in attendance are Council staff. On my right, and Mr. Craig Milburn, who's the General Manager, Mr. Michael Jackson, Director of Operations and Planning, Mr. Steve Mitchell, Director Corporate and Commercial, Mr. Daniel Thorogood, Manager Governance and Information Services, and Sian Hunter, who's a Governance Officer. I now call on Council to declare if they have any conflict of interest, to declare them now.
Question: do we have a conflict of interest with item about the
Okay, I'll name Councillor Wyatt to ask a question. Yes, Councillor Wyatt.
Do we have a conflict of interest regarding item 10.4, the local government elections?
No, we do not. No conflict declarations, thank you. I'm now going to ask the General Manager, Mr. Craig Milburn, to outline the guidelines for the public forum.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In line with Council's Code of Meeting Practice, the following guidelines are required for each speaker at our public forum. Each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes to address Council. This time is strictly enforced by the chairperson. Speakers at public forums must not digress from the item on the agenda of the council meeting they have applied to speak on. If the speaker digresses to irrelevant matters, the chairperson will direct the speaker not to do so, and if they fail to do so, the speaker will determine that they will no longer be heard. A councillor, including the chairperson, may, through the chairperson, ask questions of a speaker following their address at the forum. Questions to the speaker must be direct, succinct, and without argument. Speakers are under no obligation to actually answer those questions. If you choose to do so, you'll have 1 minute to make a reply. Speakers at the public forum cannot ask questions of councillors or council staff. Where an address made at the public forum raises matters that require further consideration by council staff, the General Manager may recommend that council defer determination or consideration of that matter pending the preparation of further report on the matters. When addressing the council, speakers at public forums must comply with this code and all other relevant codes, policies and procedures. Speakers must refrain from engaging in disorderly conduct, publicly alleging breaches of the council's code of conduct, or making other potentially defamatory statements. If the chairperson considers that a speaker of the public forum has engaged in conduct of that type, the chairperson may request the person to refrain from that inappropriate behaviour and to withdraw and unreservedly apologise for the inappropriate comments. And that basically covers the key parts.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. General Manager. On the list today, we have 3 speakers. I note that we have 2 in attendance so far. We're waiting on the 3rd. I'd like to remind each of you that you are presenting information which may benefit councillors in becoming better informed on particular decisions they have to make at the council meeting tomorrow. The first speaker is Mr. Troy Irwin, who's going to be speaking in favour of 10.2, Quarter 2 Corporate Performance Report. Mr. Irwin, would you like to come forward, please? I'm going to need to press the button down pretty hard to make the Red light come on, Mr. Irwin. Red light's got to come on. That's nearly there. Thank you.
We have a little bit of housekeeping first.
You have 5 minutes, yes.
No, can we have, before the 5 minutes starts, can we have a little bit of housekeeping?
No, you're only here to talk about the...
Have a little bit of housekeeping before we start.
What sort of housekeeping are you talking about, Mr. Irwin?
Well, obviously learning a lot from Councillor Alex, and she sort of tells everybody her qualifications before she speaks about things. Do you want to hear my qualifications?
Out of order there.
That's enough.
Mr. Irwin,
Second time.
you are not to continue with that line. You are here to address us on that one point. There's no housekeeping, and I won't accept any more. If you continue on with that, you will no longer be heard. So would you now just come to the address that you wish to make?
Gentlemen,
Hold on, please.
gentlemen,
I've got your light on. You'll hold on, please. Mr. Councillor Patterson, please.
I'm finding those comments disrespectful and totally unwarranted for elected councillors to put up with that nonsense, and I would request his removal from this office.
Thank you. I'll take that on advisement. I'll actually put it to get advice from my fellow councillors. They think that Mr. Irwin has crossed the board already and should not
I just
be
wanted
allowed
to say that I'm qualified.
So thank you, Councillor Patterson. All those in favour of Mr. Irwin no longer being heard?
Could I speak?
No, you may not. It's unanimous, Mr. Irwin. Your time is up. Thank you for coming here today. Your time is up. There's no housekeeping allowed. You should have just addressed it. You may now sit down.
Next week.
I will, but what are they issue like? Okay. I'll need to adjourn for that. Okay. Thank you. I apologise to all the people who are watching for that. We would like to have respectful addressing of council, and as I said at the beginning, councillors are here to listen to your information on what you have come to address. I now call on our second speaker, who is Ms. Emma Tamlin, who is going to be speaking in favour of 10.3, the Kemp Street Sports Complex Master Plan, the proposed amendment. Thank you, Ms. Tamlin.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councillors. My name is Emma Tamlin and I'm the President of Macleay Valley Rangers Football Club. I'm here today on behalf of our club to briefly explain our reasoning behind our support of the Kemp Street Sports Complex Master Plan, proposed amendment to remove the turf wicket cricket pitch from between the two soccer fields that have been built and utilised by MVRFC for over 40 years. Many of you may not realise that football is now nearly a year-round sport. Due to training commitments, summer camps, competitions, pre-season and the length of the playing season, football now only takes about a month off each year. This means it greatly overlaps with the summer season of cricket. This is a major concern for our club and for football in the Macleay Valley in general if the master plan is to go ahead as currently planned. By placing a cricket pitch in the centre of the two fields, it renders the fields not usable for football for half of the year due to the overlap of field bookings and removal of goalposts. The Eden Street complex is already not usable for football for the entirety of the cricket season. It would be a major mistake to also make one of the premier fields in the whole of football mid-north coast not usable. Some numerous points emphasising the year-round football schedule include the current length of the general football season is typically March till September. Prior to the season beginning, there must also be pre-season training. This began for our men in December of 2022 for the 2023 season and will continue from this point forward until the beginning of the season. On top of that are pre-season games that are being booked in for this month and also March over the next few weeks for a number of our club teams. These games have even been played in January in the past but have been impacted this season by the top dressing of the field. The Australia Cup begins in the next couple of weeks. This is something our club has competed in every year and other clubs in the Valley also compete in and requires a quality playable surface, typically on Saturdays, which coincides with the current cricket season. We're working really hard as a club to support our community. We have just run a summer camp for all our youth players in the area at the end of January. This is planned to be an annual event and was a huge benefit for all young football players in our area and for our community in general. This event requires both football fields and was run by our club. Our club is also looking at hosting a six-a-side competition this year and into the future, which would run from September till December. This will bring funds to the club, but is also a fun community event. There are currently no six-a-side competitions running in the Kempsey area. This would be impacted by cricket if the pitch was there. We are also partnered with Macleay Valley Support Services and are looking at providing opportunities to have their members join our club in volunteer roles for our various events across the year. A lot of schools in the area also utilise the field for soccer early on in the school year when cricket season is still on for tournaments and games. In order for all of this to continue to occur, we need our fields to be available year-round, requiring an amendment to the master plan. There are numerous turf wickets around the Macleay Valley for cricket to continue on, but there are no other soccer fields in this area like those built by MVR over 40 years ago. The quality of the soccer fields is unmatched in football mid-North Coast. All we are asking for is the removal of the turf wicket cricket pitch from the centre of the two fields. This will allow football to continue to thrive in this community as it is a very popular sport here. We produce some of the top quality football players in our area, but we need to have the facilities to support their development. We really appreciate your time to consider our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Ms. Tamlin on her address? Councillor Patterson, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Tamlin. Emma, how long has your association been with Macleay Valley Rangers football team?
Macleay Valley Rangers has been around for, I believe, 44 years. 44 years. And
I'm guessing that's before you.
It was before my time, yes.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you say that the cricket pitch needing removal. So who was the proponent, or who was the establishment that built those fields that you your number one field at the Macleay Valley Rangers?
Macleay Valley Rangers members built the field.
The members built the field
with their own money and with their own time.
And do you think that they have put the field where it should be?
That was the area, that was the land that they were given at the time to build it on. So yes, I believe that they've put it in the right spot.
Yeah. So with the removal of the turf pitch, would that absolutely be a no-win situation for cricketers in the whole area of like that Kemp Street area, or is there other pitches in that area?
There is currently a pitch on the lower part of Kemp Street, and I'm not sure if there's space within the plan to place it somewhere else on the lower section. I guess that's something that you would need to look at.
Yeah. So you would support that being reviewed?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just not in the middle of the two fields.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Councillor Bain, please.
Thank you. My question would be, and it's probably be more appropriate to a cricket player, but the cricket players would still have access to Eden Street fields, and I'm not sure what kind of impact it would have, but is that the proposal, that we consult and have a look at the amendment?
Yeah, we're not saying anything about the Eden Street fields. We're just saying that you've already got the Eden Street ones that are usable, but by having them there already, they've removed the soccer fields in cricket season because they take the goalposts out and they don't get placed back there again until April. So by putting another one in the middle of our two fields, it would then do the same thing. Yeah.
No further questions? Councillor Patterson, another question.
Sorry, and this just comes from a soccer point. When does your pre-season start for your soccer team?
So our players started some pre-season training in December of 2022 for this coming season.
Which is when cricket's being played.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Wyatt, please.
I think my question is more of council stuff. I'm trying to find a copy of the Kemp Street master plan on the internet. I can't find it. So this proposal is just to make an amendment to that plan, which has already been adopted. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, Councillor. The master plan, the Kent Street complex has its own master plan, and this is one part of it. I think it's mentioned as the just that section for the upper fields, Premier Field area.
Yeah, I can't find it on the internet, but I just wanted clarification. So that plan was adopted in August 2020. Is that correct? Or thereabouts? It's adopted.
Thereabouts.
It's not draft.
It's adopted.
It's adopted.
Right. Yeah. I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. No further questions. Ms. Tamlin, I thank you for being here today. Would you convey to your committee and the rest of your Macleay Valley Rangers our thanks for bringing this forward, and we will do our best to review and make sure, if we can, that there is an amendment to the master plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening.
Mr. Liam Moreland. So Mr. Liam Moreland was supposed to speak for the third speaker. He doesn't seem to be here. In that case, that is the end of the public forum today. I thank all the people in the public gallery for attending, and that's the end of public forum. 5 minutes break, everyone.